You will definitely not like to spend the unlimited amount of money on AWS. So you should have some checks to avoid the spending. In this module, we will discuss about different ways to optimize and reduce the cost when using the AWS services. There are many cost optimization strategies available depending on the specific services and resources. AWS allows the customer to set the budgets and alerts in the AWS cost management tool to monitor and control their spendings on the platform. There are different types of budget that you can create, such as cost budget. AWS cost budget allow you to set a budget for your AWS cost and receive the alerts when your actual cost exceed the budget amount. For example, you plan to spend $100 in a month on AWS services. You will get the alerts when your budget exceed the $100. This saves you from the unexpected AWS service bill. Usage budget. Usage budget allow you to set a budget for the uses of services. Usage budgets are similar to cost budgets, but allow you to set a budget for specific services such as number of S3 requests or the number of EC2 instances running. RI budget or reserved instances budget allow you to set a budget for your uses of reserved instances, which are type of pricing model offered by AWS that allow you to pay lower hourly rate for EC2 instances and RDS database for a 1 or 3 year commitment. Reserved instance budget helps you track your uses and cost of your reserved instances. You can set custom budget that alert you when your cost or usage exceed your budgeted amount. This can help customers stay within their budget and avoid the unexpected charges. If you are a AWS learner, you should definitely set your AWS cost budget to avoid the unexpected bill at the month end. Next, let's talk about the AWS Cost Explorer. If you are utilizing multiple AWS services like EC2 or S3, you would want to know how much you are spending on each service. AWS Cost Explorer is a tool that helps you to view your cost and usage data to analyze and identify the cost optimization opportunities. It helps you to see how much you are spending on each service and what are the possibilities to save the money. It also provides cost and usage data for different levels of granularity, such as by service, by instance, or by tag, that allow you to drill down into specific area of your AWS uses and cost. Cost Explorer can be used for budgeting and cost forecasting for the next 12 months. It also allows you to set budget, forecast the future cost, and see the past cost with the ability to see by time, by service, by resources. You can also use the Cost Explorer to create custom reports that can be used to share your cost and usage data with other members of your organization. AWS Cost Explorer is free to use for all AWS customers and you can access it through AWS Management Console. Next, let's talk about how you can plan for your AWS cost. AWS cost planning is the process of determining how much it will cost to run your application and services on AWS. This includes forecasting the future cost, identifying the cost optimization opportunities, and creating a budget for your AWS uses. Now, there are some tools that can be used to plan your AWS future cost. AWS Pricing Calculator. Pricing Calculator is a tool that allows you to estimate the cost of running the various AWS services. You can use the calculator to estimate the cost for a variety of scenarios, such as running the specific number of EC2 instances for a certain period of time, storing a certain amount of data in S3, or delivering a certain amount of data through CloudFront. The calculator allows you to compare the cost for different types of instances, storage options, and other service configurations, such as different regions and data transfer options. AWS Migration Hub. AWS Migration Hub is a service provided by AWS that allow you to track and manage your applications migration on the AWS cloud. It allows you to track the progress of your migration using a dashboard and provides the detailed information. AWS Migration Hub can be used to migrate a wide range of applications, including on-prem, virtualized, cloud-based workload, as well as database and storage. The AWS Pricing Calculator is a web-based tool provided by AWS that allows the customer to estimate the cost associated with various AWS services. This allows the customer to add their specific resource requirement and generate the detailed cost estimate for their desired configuration. You can estimate the cost for a workload on the cloud using the calculator. For example, if you are looking to launch a website for your company and you believe you are going to need 10 web servers, two different database servers, well, you can enter all of these factors into the pricing calculator and determine how much it would cost and share the results with other. You can even look at different ways to build it and then compare the cost between the different approaches. Pricing calculator is very useful for cost optimization and planning. Next, let's talk about AWS resource tag. Tags are key value pairs that can be added to AWS resources in order to track and manage those resources. These are just metadata that can be assigned to the AWS resources. AWS tags include a name and an optional value. So let's say, for example, if we have a website that we are launching and we have 5 web servers, well, we could go in and just put the web server as a tag on each of those servers. And then when we want to explore our cost, we could say, okay, how much we are spending on everything that has a tag as web server. But another common use case here is to include the department, environment, or project. So let's say that you have some internal application that HR is using. What you can do is you could set a name of department and then you could enter in an optional value of HR. Or we could break it down by environment. Many times when we build the application in the cloud, we will have a testing environment and a production environment. So we could create a tag with the name of environment and the value could be either production or testing. Now with this, you can utilize your cost allocation report to see your cost grouped by active tags. Tags can be enabled within the Cost Explorer. Next, let's talk about AWS organization. AWS organizations allow you to create a centralized structure for multiple AWS accounts where you can view, manage, monitor, and control the cost. This allows the organizations to manage multiple accounts under a single master account. So instead of doing what we mentioned earlier with department and having HR, for example, as one of the department, we can actually create a completely separate AWS account for HR under a master account. It provides ability to organizations with the ability to leverage the consolidated billing for all accounts. So this means that even if you have 100 different AWS account using AWS organizations under a single master account, you only get one bill. And we can see within that bill a breakdown of our cost by account. It enables the organization to centralize logging and security standard across the accounts. We can also go into the cost explorer in the master account at a high level and we can see the breakdown of our cost within each account. So we talked about tools provided by AWS to organize and optimize the cost in AWS environment. Let's quickly summarize the function of each tool. AWS budget allow you to set budget that prevent you to spend the unlimited amount of money on the AWS resources. Resource tag allow you to tag the resources and filter the resources for cost optimization and group the different resources. Cost Explorer helps you to see how much you are spending on each service in AWS. Cost planning helps you to see how much would it cost to run the certain AWS services. AWS organization allow you to have centralized security logging and cost management. So these are the different tools provided by the AWS for the cost optimization. So we should be aware about the uses and function of these tools.